Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Guilty Gear. Today we talk about Kliff, a high-risk, high-reward character who flails his huge sword around. While he can harass the opponent with big pokes, Kliff has to take risks to get his offensive space control going, but it pays off if he can get his opponent to the corner with Super Meter. I'm Carlos, and you're watching episode 24 of Guilty Bits. While Kliff's big normals are annoying to deal with, he cannot afford to whiff them and make mistakes. He has limited defensive options, pretty low health, and can be stunned easily. While it's not unusual to see Kliff lose a round over 2 or 3 mistakes, the same can be said of his opponents, especially if they get cornered. On the ground, Kliff is very stationary. His forward dash is short and slow, so he mainly tries to annoy his opponents with long-range pokes until he can get them to stand still and start to advance towards them via the air. Far S and Crouching D are his main ground pokes. While Crouching D is slow to recover from a whiff, it offers plenty of important benefits. Its low profile evades high moves, has huge range, and comes out in 7 frames, making it a great punisher. It can be cancelled into specials or supers for either safety on block or solid damage on hit. The P version of his Fireball is another tool that complements Kliff's poking ability. It also has an FRC point that serves as a staple pressure extender. His Flip special is a very long-range overhead that causes a knockdown and sends him to the other side of the screen. Kliff can either mix it with his Crouching D sweep or use it as an unusual form of mobility. While his forward dash has invincibility that can be used to pass through projectiles, Kliff's overall bad mobility usually forces him to jump around. His jumps are slow and floaty, and it's easy to combo him after an aerial counter hit, but his air normals make it hard to approach him and balance the risk, provided he doesn't whiff them. The chain of jumping S into jumping H is the main tool for most ranges. Jumping H launches on hit, which allows Kliff to convert the chain into more damage when it hits. But be careful, as on block, there's a hole in the middle that the opponent can try to take advantage of, so make sure to mix things up with jump cancels and single jumping S's. Jumping P is a great air-to-air at close ranges. His instant air dash can be done low to the ground and is quick to finish, which makes it useful as a pressure option. The only problem is that he can't cancel his longer range normals to a jump, so he usually has to use instant air dash from neutral situations, making it pretty risky if used at the wrong time. The instant air dash and the FRC of his P Fireball are his only ways to really close the distance without actually scoring a hit. Skull Crusher, while unsafe on block, is a great move to combo into. It extends simple ground combos and guarantees OTG Crouching S. Kliff's Drop special allows him to end air combos in a knockdown, which sets up safe jumps and mix-ups, provided he's close enough to get it to connect. The Force Break version of his Fireball can only be done in the air, and can be done in air combos where the opponent is too far away to connect the Drop special. The Force Break bounces him to the wall and right back towards Kliff, and solves this range problem. Reflex Roar is a fast Fireball super. It can be hit confirmed off a chain of Far S into Crouching H, or off of a Crouching D. It does a nice chunk of damage and sends the opponent flying towards the corner, while Kliff can follow by utilizing its FRC point. After a knockdown, Kliff's mix-ups are simple and effective. A knockdown allows him to jump at the opponent and force block jumping K or jumping S from very close range, which then he can either land in low or double jump jumping K for a fuzzy guard overhead option. It's the standing hitbox of the fuzzy situation that allows him to connect the full air chain of K, S, H. This means that when instant rising jumping K is used on its own without the block jump in beforehand, it can't be chained into a full combo. But after a knockdown, Kliff has another useful mix-up even if he can't set up a blocked jump-in. His standing D overhead is one of the best in the game. It may be very slow to come out, but most of the animation looks like Kliff crouching normally, so when used outside of a chain and mixed with delaying a low, it creates a mix-up that cannot be reacted to. You can use this after you condition the opponent to not try to reversal, backdash, or jump away. Standing D has a flaw though. Each time it's used, it raises Kliff's own stun gauge. Kliff can already be stunned easily as it is, so this move must be used very sparingly. His throw allows him to start a combo as well, and add more options to his corner mix-ups. Kliff's taunt slowly creates 4 projectiles that bounce along the ground, which may be useful in some matchups for some space control at full screen or an Okizeme. Crouching S hits grounded opponents and removes OTG state. It also combos into the S version of the Fireball, and serves as a staple ender mid-screen, and as the basis to Kliff's corner combos. If he has between 50 to 75% meter to spend, depending on the starting hit, Kliff can do the strongest combos in the game. Defensively, Kliff's small hitbox can make it hard to hit him from the air, and also makes him immune to fuzzy guard mix-ups. Kliff's standing H is a good anti-air that may be a bit slow to come out, but has good range, and even defends Kliff from cross-up angles. His Shake special has a great hitbox, and it's very fast to come out, which helps it out-prioritize opposing pokes. Kliff has a dodge move that can be followed either with a chop or a force break chop, which is much more punishable but applies a huge amount of stun when it hits. Each time used, the dodge raises Kliff's own stun meter, and the higher his stun meter is, the higher the chance that instead of getting a dodge, Kliff will instead have a back spasm and be open to a big combo by the opponent, which, after Kliff raised his own stun meter so much, can very easily lead to a dizzy. This means the dodge move becomes riskier in the times you need it the most, which is why you should consider saving it for corner force break chop combos only. Last but not least, Soul Survivor has invincibility and is punishable at various degrees depending on the matchup. Just be careful as it only hits right in front of Kliff. As always, if you have any questions, please leave us a comment below, and if you like what you've seen, please take a look at our other videos, and subscribe for more character guides like this. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on Guilty Bits.